Dude, why don't you just ask for help instead of being like this? It's almost like if you don't want my help and you just want to cry. You don't want anything to help. You don't want anybody helping you. And you're gonna be like, so fine, I'm not gonna help you. That's your problem. Get that out of your mouth. Yeah, baby. I use it. Yeah. Okay. I gotta go, buddy.
Hey,
Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
you well rested?
I should be.
Huh?
I should be.
Okay.
I've been sleeping for a long time,
I've
but
been glancing through like so many different videos of like Oprah, man. That stuff is dope.
okay.
That is dope. And it's like so much to choose from. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Julie. You're gonna have to give me like another day because I want to just like continue to go through it. Like, even one of the videos I watched, it was a short video.
Okay.
I watched it like 3 times. I watched that one like 3 times. And one thing about it is like when you're interviewing, like you have to really, you have to make yourself look so professional, but you have to be comfortable. I don't know how am I trying to word it. Like just because like in my mind, like I have to focus on like just being comfortable, like just like relax.
Okay.
And don't be so like uptight. Um, whether I'm being interviewed or I'm interviewing someone else.
Okay.
And with like the multiple interviews I did as a writer, like it wasn't something that I was trained to do. I just jumped right into it. But like me being the person I am, like I guess I'm a friendly person once I get like if I'm how can I put it, like say like you introduce me to somebody, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be comfortable with talking to them because they know you. When I got into that position, I was a little nervous at first. Like the first few interviews that I started doing, I would like go to my mentor office, drop my backpack off, and I'll get like some feedback from him. Like, you know, he'd be like, just go and just be yourself, and you know, just take a notepad and your notebook and just talk, make conversation. He told me to just make conversation. And when I started doing that, my boss ended up printing me the book. My boss I had at the time ended up printing me off this sheet with like questions. So once I started asking the questions, everything just started to flow so decent and so good that it ended up turning into conversation. You know, like majority of the pictures that I have on Facebook with individuals, those are individuals that I interview, like the nursing professor, a lady from St. Louis from this big radio, this big broadcasting radio station, um, a professor, like a few different other professors, and you know, like I took these pictures with them. I kind of hate that COVID is going out, because one thing that I ended up enjoying doing was going to the events that they had at the library. A lot of people will hear, they don't really look into that, but I started to look into that because I started to learn different things like architecture. Like, I'm not into that stuff, but to go and hear someone talk about it, I I can learn from that. Like, I learned like, okay, put what you really like to the side and try to learn about something different.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like if it's someone that says like it was the girl that worked at the library on campus, and I went and I was on the computer. I was printing out something. No, I was printing out that book. That's when I printed out that book that you emailed me of the youth bill writer. And I was there, and I asked her, you know, like we started engaging in small talk, and I kind of like asked her, I'm like, what are you majoring in and stuff? She said she want to be a vet, like a vet tech or something like that. But I've never actually met someone who was interested in animals like that, that wanted to go to school for that. So me just sitting back, just having a conversation off of her made me realize like, just because you're not interested in that major doesn't mean you can't learn from that. And a lot of people don't know that.
Right. You can learn from anybody.
You can learn from anyone. You know what I mean?
A lot of things that, I mean, everyone is kind of on the same journey. We just choose different hobbies to entertain ourselves with, or different paths, different career paths.
Mm-hmm. That's like, you know, when I start my college course classes, like, and I fully completed with my GD, like, I'm gonna really like, I plan on going online. So my goal will be to initiate in our discussions that we have, like become Facebook friends with different other students and become friends with them, at least through that way, by going through school online. Now, when I do my bachelor's degree, I'm thinking hopefully COVID has been put to a stop, but for the next couple of years to get my associate's degree, I prefer to do it online, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gained a sense of control with being an online student, especially with the pandemic. And I kind of like how everything flow, especially if I get some of my classes where I can do things on my own time. I just like the way the online thing flow. Online is not for everybody.
The last school I was at, I was doing a hybrid program. It was in the summer we had a semester that we went live, and then in the winter and spring it was online. And I really like that because you get to meet everyone. Like, it was like a cohort base. You get to meet everyone in the summer semester or the summer session, and then the winter and spring we are online, and then in the summer we met again.
And so for my bachelor's degree, you know, I hopefully I have my book launched by then. But for my bachelor's degree though, like I really I think I might take like a couple classes in person. I know that the university that I'm kind of looking at now that I would like to go to is Greenville University. My boss said she know a really good education program there, where because she went to school there. But I still have other options too as well. But I just I've heard a lot of good things about Greenville University. But it's like 45 minutes away from here. And like some of the, like a student ambassador for my community college, well, she's graduated now from Greenville, but she went to Lewis and Clark with me too. And like, she's super cool. You know what I mean? Like, she's just like super cool. I only know her, I don't really know her outside of campus, but we Facebook friends. We keep up with each other and stuff like that through Messenger. But for even one of my fellow peers to tell me that that's a really good college and like they just recently graduated from there, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting more and more good feedback from it.
That's cool. Talk to me about Oprah.
Okay. She's outstanding. Oprah is outstanding. But she is so much to choose from. Like, Julian, like, it's so much to choose from. She's dope. Like, the way she carry herself, the way she initiate conversation, and she just looks so calm and comfortable.
I mean, she did the Oprah Winfrey show for what, like 20 years or something, 20 plus years.
Yeah, because she's not on there no more.
No, she's on her own network now. But she did like her own show for like 20 years, 5 days a week. So she got a lot of
dope. Like, I think I should read upon her. I think once I finish this list of books, I think that she should be someone that I should do like some research on, like initiating it with you. And what I mean by that is like some of the steps, learning the steps, like how she got to where she's at in her career field, how she is just a person, different things of that nature and stuff.
I know her.
I want to work on that.
I know her story's out there. Like I said, Oprah, I never got into Oprah's show as much as I did some of the other show hosts, but Oprah is the one that, basically set the standard for those shows. I used to watch like Ricki Lake, Maury.
Okay, now it's a lot of different books on here. I like this one. This one looks like it might be good though. From Rags to Riches.
Is that an Oprah book?
It said, did you know that Oprah Winfrey was not always rich and successful? She started from nothing, and yet she worked hard to achieve her dreams. Hers is a story that will inspire young children to dream and work tirelessly towards that dream. Get to know the real Oprah Winfrey. Read this book today.
Okay.
And then her latest book, The Path Made Clear, Oprah shares what she sees as a guide for activating your deepest vision of yourself, offering the framework for creating not just a life of success, but one of significance. This is another book. After an unstable and traumatic childhood, which included rape, Oprah's career took off when she was hired by television station WTVF in Nashville at the age of 19. Journalist George Muir has interviewed Oprah's friends, family, enemies, and critics to present this definite saga of her struggle and success. So yeah. Oprah's Southern girl. She ain't even got that country accent.
Oprah's had a huge impact. I mean, there's like millions of people that used to watch her show every day. And she used to like interview people that had all kinds of traumatic experiences. So people were able to hear people's stories and watch her basically, be curious and inquisitive and bring out the lessons and learning off of people's stories.
I think this might be a good one. For success, the life lessons and rules for success. With Oprah. This aim of this book is to be educational and inspirational with actionable principles you can incorporate into your own life straight from the great woman herself, including 40 little known facts and 10 success principles to live by. I'm going to write this down. I think that is something that can really, I think that's something that I could really go by right about now. I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna be looking. I might as well go put it on the order of the library website that I go on to order my books. And I'm gonna write a book review on it.
Tune in. The Black Hair Party presents the Real Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Friendship has everything to do with aura. Love is a more, and purpose is about saving time. I am JRX36.
I am Alexandra.
Locked in, and this is an All Ages Alliance production. Today is day 42, Alexandra.
Hey.
And when you add day 0, that's 43. So tomorrow is the new number. Tomorrow's day 87. 87. So tomorrow, the days get combined.
I'm just writing this down real quick.
So I don't know if tomorrow's like a new show, I guess. I haven't quite thought about it all the way through.
Like, how did you want to start out? Tomorrow, February 1st.
I guess. I don't know. So tomorrow's day 87. So we had the Real Talk Show. Then we had we had the Taboo Free Talk Show. Then the Real Talk Show. And they're all connected. So I don't know. I was thinking that tomorrow is just the Black Hair Party.
Okay.
The Black Hair Party, but then I don't know if I'm shifting it. I don't know yet. I don't exactly know yet. But I believe that it is an opportunity to shift attention once again.
I had a struggle earlier. I had to shampoo, condition, all of that to my hair. I said, I'm not doing nothing to my hair all week, so I braided it.
That's cool. It looks nice.
Thank you.
Easy.
Dealing with my natural hair. I wanted to watch like a short video, if we could find like a short video, and then maybe like do a discussion on it.
Okay.
Together? Okay.
That
way, if I do a discussion with you, it'll help me utilizing my notes when I do them in my own time when I'm watching the videos too, okay?
Okay. Did you have one in mind?
I don't have one in mind. That's why I thought it'd be best because I'll be all over the place.
Oprah video?
Yeah.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Let me share my screen while we search. Ooh. Are we ready to interview Alexandra?
It's up to you.
Because that could be the shift.
Okay.
We talked about it in the end of November. And
okay.
we went through with it. So that could be the shift, and then
Now, would you want us to get us some interview questions together, or just go off a conversation?
so we each have our own personality.
Okay.
So let me introduce you to old school Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar with Howard Stern?
No.
No. Well, Howard Stern. I used to listen to
Oh,
Howard.
I've seen him before. Go back up. Go back up.
There?
Yeah, that's him and Jada Pinkett, ain't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've seen him before. I just don't know his name. I've seen him before.
So Howard Stern has a co-host.
Mm.
This is his co-host, right?
Brings you down to the show today.
Wait, you'll see. Hold on.
You know, what do you find out? What brings you down to the show? What do you think about Howard? You know, that kind of stuff.
Well, what brings me to the show? I don't know. I guess we're trying to let Howard's audience know that Shaft is out there and still out there, and hopefully they'll go and see it.
The picture that's up on the website of Ronnie's mustache. Ronnie, the limo driver, has a mustache that looks like, to me, like General Lee, like a guy in the Civil War, or he's grown one of those big, giant gray mustaches that sits on his face.
Right.
It's weird.
Looks like one of those old presidents.
And no matter how many people tell him it's weird, now it's getting to the point where he can't shave it off, because then everyone will say, then it'll be like, well, I did what everyone said I should have done. So I think he's just keeping it for the hell of it. So Sal and Richard went on the street and they showed pictures of Ronnie's mustache to women mostly. And maybe this will get through to him.
I want to say her name is,
what these women were just
her name is
over.
Robin.
What do you think of this man's mustache?
It looks very Southern to me.
Although Ronnie fucked up his Twitter account this morning, JD let me know.
Why? How?
Ronnie, because I know you work hard on Twitter, and you can be honest about it.
Yeah, it sucks, but what are you gonna do? Listen, yeah, and he has been on a lot more, and he's more interesting, I guess.
Why is it important to have the most followers? I don't even understand.
No, it's just more people interested in you, I guess. I don't know.
Is it sort of like Ronnie's like finally getting popularity? I don't think he ever had any. And
I don't know. I think the verification thing really.
I just wanted to show you Robin, but
you fucked up.
Okay.
she's not coming on as much.
I was right here.
Positive.
Is he
That's
still on
Robin.
medication? Because sometimes
Oh, okay.
medication.
You should be on medication. Let's get back to Ronnie's mustache, see what the ladies had to say.
I don't really like the mustache. It's just kind of like old-fashioned looking, like old Western, like an old president.
Is there a certain old president?
I used to watch them. We may want to look at them at some point, but they were like,
Okay.
Howard Stern was extra. So that was like real talk show. Howard Stern was like the real talk show, or the taboo-free talk show. In fact, Howard Stern is the taboo-free talk show. If I'm honest about it, because I mean, he talked about anything and everything. So, but it's different than Oprah, because people would say that he is classless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one to judge.
Let's watch that one. Oprah Winfrey on personal experiences with racism life.
I don't see it. Which one?
It's the second one. Right there, yep. Yep.
With Larry King.
Hi, Savon here.
Doesn't need a last name.
Sometimes people will criticize me because they felt that I didn't do enough for race or racism. I try to tell stories that allow people to see themselves in the lives of other people.
You still ever experience at this elevation racism?
I've experienced it. I think the higher up you go in the chain of capitalism, people don't expect you to be sitting at certain board tables.
You sense that.
You sense it and you know it.
Plus,
they go, cut! What is she doing? Oh my God, I'm like terrified.
Oprah is next.
So Larry King, he's another great interviewer as well.
Larry King now.
That's the intro. Our guest is, you may not know her, is Oprah. One of the few people in the world you don't have to say the last name. And she stars in a brilliant new film now. Often I don't extol movies on this program, and I try not to refer to myself. But I saw The Butler, and The Butler is the best civil rights movie I've ever seen. One of the great dramas I've ever seen, one of the great human dramas, with an incredible performance by you. When did you know you could act?
I'm gonna sit up straighter for that.
When did you know you could act? I mean, you were a broadcaster. I go back to Baltimore with you.
Yeah, we go way back. I
Jayden.
didn't know I could act, even in The Color Purple, Larry. I had taken the Stanislavski acting books with me to Monroe, North Carolina, where we were shooting The Color Purple in 1985. Because I couldn't balance acting with, I knew instinctively that you got to figure out a way to let that character.
I can't really hear this one, Julian. I turned my volume up.
And I wasn't sure I could do it because I'd been an orator before, all through high school. I grew up doing Sojourner Truth and Fannie Lou Hamer's speeches.
How about now?
Mr. Public Speaking.
And public speaking. So I knew I could do that. I knew I could do dramatizations, which is very different than acting, going into the interior. So I guess I really didn't know I could do it until that famous scene in The Color Purple where she comes through the cornfields and says, "You told Harpo to beat me all my life. I had to fight. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers." That scene, I had to fight my cousins. I never knew I had to fight in my own house. I did that in one take.
Why didn't you do more films?
Because I had a day job. And actually, after Beloved, I was on the Larry King Show for promoting Beloved, and that was 15 years ago. I hadn't done it in 15 years. And I put my heart and soul into that. I was a producer for that. I really wanted that story to be told. And then it was not successful. I didn't understand the whole, I think we got beat that weekend by something called Chucky. I didn't know what Chucky was. And then I remember saying to my chef, after they say, you lost and Chucky, you got beaten by Chucky, I said, make some macaroni and cheese. And I went into a macaroni and cheese.
Have you gotten movie offers over the years?
Yes, I've gotten movie offers over the years, but I gave up the dream because it would be like you, the daily,
I've been in a lot of movies, but I play myself and you're in and out in one day.
That's right. So if you're going to commit to something other than playing yourself, which I think it's hard to play yourself.
Yeah, well, you got to act.
Because who is yourself?
I know.
Because in yourself, you don't have to act. You got to find out who people think yourself is. Anyway, I'd given up the dream of acting because the day job had taken over, and I was really content with that and said, oh, well, that wasn't supposed to be my life.
So how did The Butler come around?
Because Lee Daniels had been calling me about other films and sending me scripts and saying he really, really, really wanted to work with me. And I wanted to work with him after obviously seeing Precious. I stepped up to help promote Precious and say, just because I wanted as many eyes on it as possible. And I wanted the opportunity to work with him, but he called me at the worst time. I was going through the building of OWN and all of the, Michigas and Schadenfreude of that. And I said, Lee, you just couldn't have asked me at a worse time. I'm just trying to keep my head above water here. I am just trying to dig myself out of a hole. I got all this work to do with network and finding the right people and all that. Because I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Because I'm ready to go with this movie. So he said, think about it, think about it. What he said was, I'm going to shoot you out. That means I'm going to come in, I'm going to let you come in and I'm going to shoot all your stuff and you'll be out. It won't take much of your time.
So how long will it take?
3 months in and out. You know why? Because in the middle of it, there was a big hurricane down in
where'd you shoot?
In New Orleans. So we had to stop for that. And I was in between shooting Gloria. I'd go into the Gloria character, come out, go interview Rihanna. Go into the Gloria character, come out, and go interview Jason Russell, go interview Usher. So it was a challenging time, but I'm now glad I did it. I finally said yes because of the story. I am a product of the civil rights movement. And there are so few stories that I, strongly, strongly believe that if you don't know who you are, if you don't understand your history, then you have no idea of what your future and the possibility of future can be.
When I took my boys to see 42,
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson, which I knew Jackie very well,
Wow.
and saw his first game.
Wow.
But I introduced, they're little baseball players. I introduced them to that film. But in that film, they learned about civil rights.
That's right.
This movie, The Butler,
Yeah.
is going to teach a lot of people. I know how hard it was, but they're going to doubly know how hard
Yeah.
it was.
You know, the other night we came out of a screening and there were some young people like in their 30s saying, you know, did that stuff really happen? And I just went, yeah, that stuff and so much more stuff happened. But you know, what is beautiful to see is, you know, this is an amazing country that we live in. That Butler film starts with the butler sitting in the White House reflecting on his life and the whole
Beautiful
lynching.
opening.
Beautiful opening, that whole lynching scene. So you begin the movie with a lynching and you end it with Obama. That is really the arc of this country. And for that to happen in one man's lifetime, I know it's popular for us to talk about all the changes that need to come and we're not where we need to be. But look at how far we actually have come, that you can, in the span of one man's life, Eugene Allen, for whom the story is told, have that. I love that the butler himself, Eugene Allen, is quoted as saying that, you know, he went to the inauguration of Obama after being there for 8 presidents from Eisenhower and said, standing there watching Obama being put into office, I never dreamed that we could even dream of such a day. And he was in the White House with all of those presidents.
We'll be back with more with Oprah right after this. In Chicago, when Obama.
Yes,
I'm not-
yes. I started to dream that dream of Obama when I first saw him at the Democratic National
too.
Convention. When I saw him, I felt something. I felt a fire. I felt when I saw him the first time, having seen, remember the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman
Of course.
and Cicely Tyson?
Cicely Tyson, just
When
little
she-
Broadway.
Yes. And when she's holding the babies and says, we look at each one of them and we wonder, is this the one? Is this the one? And when I saw him, I went, whoa, I believe that's the one.
This woman you play in The Butler
Yeah.
is an extraordinary lady. She has depth. She drinks too much. She
We took some liberties.
she
thank you.
defends her husband and gets mad at him.
Mhm.
Gets mad at her son.
Yeah.
And then throws him out of the house when the husband throws. There are so many emotional, pivotal scenes.
But she is every woman. You know, Larry, you know, one of the things I tried to do all those years on the Oprah show, sometimes people would criticize me because they felt that I didn't do enough for race or racism. But this is what I always understood, that for me, my role and my goal in life is to open people's hearts. That's what I do, is I try to tell stories that allow people to see themselves in the lives of other people. And for me, it was always more powerful and effective to do a show, for example, on single parents raising their children, and just on the panel of parents, to have a Black father, and to show the photographs or images of that father putting his child to bed and reading a story at night. That to me is more powerful than doing a story on, let's talk about Black fathers who are raising their children. Because the goal for me is to show that we are all more alike than different, and that in our humanity, in our ability to express our humanness, we are the same. So when you see a father putting his child to bed at night and reading stories, and that man is Black, and you know that's what your husband does, and that's what you do, you feel a sense of connection and humanity.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You see?
How did you approach her, though?
I was so nervous about stepping back into this role of acting, having not picked up the instrument in 15 years, that I called Susan Batson, who's an acting coach who's worked with a lot of the greats. And I was just happy she took my call. Like, will you please come and do a session with me? Because I was so worried that I wouldn't be able to cry on cue. Because you know, those years when I was doing The Color Purple, I couldn't cry on cue. There was a scene where I've been in The Color Purple. There's the Harpo character, my husband, in the juke joint, And I was I was so excited to be in The Color Purple that I went every day to set, Larry, even if I didn't have a role to play. I would just be there watching. And I was there watching and crying just as a viewer in the background. And Steven saw me and he said, I like that. I like that. I'm going to turn the camera around this afternoon. I want you to do just that. And I went, do what? And he says, that you just did. And I didn't know how to do that. I did not have the skill, the technical skill to do that on cue. And there was a moment where he and Alan Davio, the cinematographer, they're rolling the camera's on me, and I'm supposed to be crying, and I couldn't do it. So all night long I cried because I couldn't cry.
Did you know you were making a great movie?
Mine was the first shot the first day. I was the first person up. I'd never even been to a Universal tour. I had no idea how a movie worked. So I walk in to the juke joint, first scene, first day, and I walk in and I'm looking for the camera because I have been a student of television my whole life. I walk in and I look for the camera and I say, how you doing, Miss Seeley? And Alan Davio and Steven yell, they go, cut! What is she doing? Oh my God, I'm like terrified. And they said, because Steven comes in and says, what are you doing? And I said, I was just saying the line. He goes, but why are you looking in the camera? I was saying, well, aren't I supposed to look in the camera? He goes, no, you're supposed to look at Miss Seeley, because that is who you're talking to. So that was how little I knew about making movies.
Over the years, many actors have told me they never liked to see themselves up on the screen. It was embarrassing. And they'll always say, I should have did this.
Yeah.
How do you view that?
That's exactly what happened to me the first time I've seen the second time. Roger Ebert said this to me years ago, that it takes about 5 years before you will actually, he said that to me when I did The Color Purple, that it'll take you 5 years before you can see. He said, if I were you, I wouldn't look at it for another 5 years. And I actually didn't look at it for another 10.
How about seeing yourself in The Butler?
In The Butler, I couldn't see myself. I just was like, oh God, that's so wrong. Why did I do that? And I should have done that. And I should have.
You were self-critical.
I was very self-critical the first time. All I could see and feel was, gee, this movie has been elevated to a place, it's bigger than I thought. And I think that happened because of Lee Daniels and because of Forrest, and obviously because of all of our contribution, but because of the vision for the film to be bigger than the story, than the life of one person.
More with Oprah right after these words.
Want to keep watching?
Yeah, I was into it.
Okay.
If you give us a few more minutes on it, then we can discuss it.
Cool. You just let me know.
Okay.
Forrest cast before you?
No, I was cast before Forrest.
Did you have a selection in him? Did you have a say?
Well, I wouldn't say, well, we were trying to find someone that would partner with me that would be real, would be realistic, and that we could have a chemistry. So what actually happened was I auditioned with several people that day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was the 6th person.
All of them well-known actors?
All of them pretty well-known, yeah. And a couple of them not from this country. But I auditioned, and he was this, I think, 6th person that came in. He was the only Academy Award winner. He came in, and Lee was saying, oh gosh, we're gonna ask an Academy Award winner to audition. And I said, it's not even like an audition, it's just to feel like, does this work? And before he finished, I looked at Lee, and Lee looked at me, and he pulled me into the kitchen because we were at the Chateau Marmont in one of those little suites. And Lee goes, I think it's him, don't you? And I go, it's definitely him. And so we say, would you be my husband?
Where did they do the White House scenes?
They created a house down there in New Orleans.
You've been in the White House.
Did it look good?
Looked good. I thought it was in the White House.
Yeah, they did a really great job. We shot all of that in New Orleans on some of the hottest days wearing polyester. I was saying, we shall overcome polyester. We shall overcome polyester.
Okay, well, the key question, what was it like on film to die?
Oh, that's so good.
I'm not taking anything away, but the characters grow old, and it takes you through their life. So I'm not taking anything away from you.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. But she did. She died She died the day before Obama was elected. Did you know that?
Oh, well, it's sort of in the film. I remember they went to the rally.
Yeah.
And she had her
But
sign.
she died November 3rd, 2008. She died November 3rd, 2008.
Was that a tough scene to do?
Yeah, because you can overdo it dying and you can overdo it being drunk. You can really overkill. They told me from the beginning, Susan Batson had said, people who smoke will know a smoker. So you got to train yourself to do
absolutely.
that. Yeah. And people who drink will know a drunk. And I guess people who died will know if you did that well or not. So no, you can, most people overdo death. You can make death so you think death is going to be this big dramatic thing. And coming to the space, I didn't like to die, actually. I didn't. Well,
she said, I didn't like to die, actually.
That movie, The Piano, Holly Hunter goes underneath and the piano drags her down. The first thing she says, death. What a surprise.
Don't tell me you're not looking forward.
I'm not looking forward to it, but, we're not going to get out of it.
Well, yeah, so I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want to be there.
Don't want to be there when it happens, yeah.
Do you still ever experience at this elevation racism?
Other than on Twitter, when some nitwit gets on and uses the N-word, nobody's going to do that to my face. But I've experienced it. I think the higher up you go in the chain of capitalism,
you can end it now.
You experience it.
I want to leave some time for us to talk.
Because the expectation for who you are.
1 second. Let me let her finish the statement.
And as a people, you're breaking new ground, and so people don't expect you to be sitting at certain board tables. People don't expect you to be able to break down certain barriers. They don't expect you. So I
sense that.
I see you sense it and you know it. I had a really interesting incident. I didn't say anything about it because.
We'll leave it at that. All right.
I think just from watching them interview each other, it's just rule number one, just relax. Like when we start interviewing on here, I think it'd be just best for me to just kind of relax and different things like that, and just be calm and don't feel like I gotta go from one question to the next question. Just have my questions in front of me. If needed to feel like I need a conversation flow, but after I ask the first two questions, I can just go off conversation. I don't necessarily need to ask the questions because sometimes you can ask one question and the conversation can lead to the individual that you interview answering another question while they're talking. Have you ever noticed that in interviews or? Have you ever? I'm quite sure you've interviewed individuals before.
Not on film, not on recording.
Okay.
But when we were recruiting, we had to interview everybody we recruited.
Okay.
We had some basic questions, and then we had our questions. And then we'd go with the conversation, but. I feel comfortable just listening and going off conversation. However, I think it's good to have some questions, prepared. But the thing is it depends. A lot depends on the person. Cause see, I want to go deep and fast. I want to get to, I want to talk about things that make people uncomfortable. Because that's where a lot of the learning is at. If we're gonna be interviewing, what do you have to offer? How low?
Which is true, and I think not to cut you off, but I think what helped me connect with you really good was that me talking about my story and what I've been through. It's been times certain things can come off and it'll make me uncomfortable. But one thing I realized though, as I continue to talk more about it, it helped me to feel more easier though. And a lot of individuals, they don't understand that when someone is interviewing you or speaking with you, and the fact that they're not doing this purposely to make you feel uncomfortable, they want you to, the things that make you feel uncomfortable on talking about, talk about them because it's going to make you feel better.
Yeah, it's
going to make you feel better.
Yeah, it's like a form of therapy for the person going through and the people watching. And two is like talking about it allows things to come up. I'm gonna be able to hear if you're still getting triggered by it, and I can ask follow-up questions, you know, to kind of like better understand why is the trigger still there, and then to the degree that you're willing to be honest with yourself about whatever it is we're talking about, then at least you'll have an opportunity to be like, oh yeah, I really haven't let that go. You know, maybe I should think more about that, or I shouldn't think about that, and I don't want to let it go. But then at least now I know where I'm at with that. So yeah, so I mean, I like the idea of just kind of like, because you know, basically the way I look at it is, you know, people got a past, people have a future, and then people have a present. So it's like, tell me about your past. You know, what are your wishes about the future? Where are you headed? And where are you at right now? And then it's like bouncing around in time. And then people can talk about themselves. People can talk about their families. People can talk about their friends, you know. So, and then, you know, and then there's money, there's sex, there's like parenting. So there's these topics that, you know, people we could jump off of, but having questions are good. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, when we start interviewing people, which we already have been doing, we have been already interviewing. Like every time we have a new person, we kind of interview them. But getting some practice in just interviewing newer people, like the flow will be kind of the same, and then we just kind of. We can ask some basic. We'll see a basic. I'm not interested in scripting it. I think you should though, because that way it balances our personalities. Because I'm gonna be more like freestyle.
Well, what I can do now, just starting off. Well, we can start tomorrow night. Actually, we can start with developing our interviews, and what I mean by that is coming to conclusions together with both of our personalities, to put questions together in a format for both of us. Instead of like, and what I mean by that is like, okay, we can turn one question, but make it in the meaning sense for both of us.
Tell me more. I don't know what you mean. What do you
mean?
Say
like if we're both interviewing your mentor, and like you said, our personalities are different.
Who's my mentor?
Oh, you're not your mentor, but your past mentor.
Okay. I don't like that word, so let's not call him. I don't have no mentor.
Okay. Well, in the past. What is a better word for mentor then?
I mean, I would call him a teacher before I call him a mentor.
Really? Okay. Is that better to say?
He was the one person I have in mind. He's a kahuna.
What's that?
Well, let's look up the actual definition here. But it's a Hawaiian word for teacher, if I'm not mistaken. The big kahuna or leader or whatever. Kahuna. Oh, wise man or shaman. Kahuna is a Hawaiian word defined as a respected person who has moral authority in a society. A priest, sorcerer, magician, wizard, minister, expert in any profession.
Okay.
So, you know, like a teacher of some sort. Teacher would be the English American translation or Western society translation. But yeah, so he was a kahuna, or he is a kahuna.
You're right, similar. Trainer, a teacher, a tutor, a coach, instructor. Okay.
And then, you know, if I think about my youth build days, the one I can, What was the relationship? It was more of a work relationship, and let me see. He was a guide of some sort. I don't know, but I haven't really connected with the word mentor much. But let's look up mentor. Well, how to mentor, an experienced, trusted advisor. I like the definition, I guess. Advise or train.
Yeah, that's what and teacher.
Confidant. Counselor. See, I like consultant. I like counselor. I like confidant, guide, advisor. Mentor, that is just a word. Mentor. Maybe because they got man in it. What are the 3 A's of mentorship? Okay. Consultant, counselor, and cheerleader. Okay. But go ahead. So let's say that we're interviewing Mi Kahuna. A kahuna.
Okay.
A wise man. He's definitely a wise man.
Okay.
What were you saying?
We can put together some interview questions.
So I don't want to do that, but you could do that. See, I'd rather just not think about it and go off the cuff. But if you don't,
really,
yeah.
But see, I'm not that. Well, you know what? Maybe I should be more confident in myself. Maybe since I'm used to having my questions in front of me, have my questions, but at the same time, don't necessarily go off of them. Just kind of glance at them if I need to.
Well, I think it's practice no matter what. There's no right or wrong answer. You know, I just don't judge myself, you know, and I know that I'm going to be at my best if I'm present. So if I'm listening, then, and I'm a curious person, so if I'm listening, then my curiosities will guide the questioning, you know. But I think that if, you know, for your personality, I think having questions can be beneficial. And like you said, you can have them, you can use them as a guide, and you can go back and forth from them if you like. But I'm saying, like, for me, I'd rather be present so that I could listen, because then, like, kind of now, like, so for instance, even like the Oprah show, those are very scripted. Like, they have questions. Like Oprah has, you know, they always have like an index card in their hand, and the index card will have questions. You know, Oprah or show hosts would get biographies on the people where they get to learn about the person they're interviewing. So, you know, it's not usually people are not just showing up and they're just talking to them. There's more that goes into it, and I understand that. However, you know, I think we're just people. We're just regular people, and we can have a regular conversation. But being prepared, there's a benefit to it, because then you can, you know, you can explore aspects of their character that maybe didn't come out in the questions that did come up, because we might focus on one specific topic for a specific period of time. Whereas if we had a biography, we would be like, oh, so let's talk about your first marriage, or let's, you know. So, you know, I think that you should have some questions, you know, if that makes you comfortable. But I know for me, I'm not gonna like think about it. I'm gonna just be ready to talk. It's for me, it's easier that way. It's better that way, because then I don't got to think about it. I just got to show up. Yeah.
Okay.
Like when people have come on here in the past, you know, we don't really have like interview questions prepared for them, and you know, we didn't get to know who they were But I mean, can you really get to know anybody in like an hour, you know? So there's a lot to people's personality.
Right.
So
Which that does make sense when you say that, but
yeah.
I'm gonna still put me together like my five little, I'm gonna call it my 5 little questions.
No, that's good. Yeah. That's say like, and I think that'll be a good balance for my personality, because that'll be a critique. The people that tend to like structure are going to wish that I had more structure. They can get that from you. So it's not
Sounds good.
not a thing.
And then tomorrow we gonna keep it at this time.
Yes.
To me, it's better. I ain't even gonna lie, because Julian, like, I could do everything I need to do, lay down, chill, and relax.
Yeah.
But I'll be really like, I was upstairs reading in my bed, so I put my little alarm on my phone. My alarm went off. I just got up and went down, because it's like I'm winding myself down. I'm still, you know, like right about now, I'm gonna get ready to go get into bed, but it just, I don't know, it's better for me. It's like everything, I'm not rushing to the meeting. I'm not rushing to get back home. You know what I mean? It's like I'm already gonna be at home at this time, so I like it.
Okay. So you ready to interview someone tomorrow?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna see if I find somebody to interview for tomorrow.
Okay.
I have someone in mind.
Okay.
And
Now we're gonna do this together, ain't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So tomorrow,
don't throw me out there to the wolves like that now.
Nah.
Like, I've interviewed in person, but you know, in which I shouldn't really have a big issue, because
we've already been doing this, so don't feel no pressure.
No, I shouldn't have a big issue, because I've been interviewing in person before, and like this is through like, you know, like virtually, so it shouldn't be too bad for me.
Yeah, and so one of the differences, like when we interview people now, it's like we're not necessarily inviting them to be an audience member or to come back on, you know? So the vibe is different. The vibe is, okay, let us get to know you, and that'll be the show. And then tomorrow, you know, we could talk like we talk, or get to know someone else, and that'll be the show.
Okay.
So, and then at some point when we're ready, we can start going live. But you know, I'd like to maybe that's what happens now with day 87. We start moving into interviewing people.
Okay.
And maybe not. I don't know, because
if you want to interview, if you want to bring somebody on the show tomorrow, I'm down with it. I'm game for it.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, you know.
And I'll just do my 5 questions, because tomorrow I'm going to the office tomorrow, because I'm gonna do myself remotely at home with Jaden. Tomorrow on Tuesday, the following day on Tuesday, and on Thursday, I'm gonna make him do another little lesson plan that's gonna be a little similar. And I'm gonna email that. Has he been able to get his words?
I don't know.
You haven't? Okay.
I don't know. I haven't found, you know, I usually on the weekends I let him do his own thing.
Okay, then. Well, he still got tomorrow, but it's gonna be a consistent with the words.
And he has to like make sentences with him. Is that what the assignment is?
No, write the words 10 times.
Okay.
Each, but I wanted him to look at the examples of the sentences just in case, so he can get a feel of what the word means. I'm not gonna have him put none of the words yet in sentences. I want him to learn the words with the examples of sentences.
Okay, so let's ask him moving forward to do graphics with the set, like do digital art. So
for the sentence that he reads?
Well, no, for the words. So
okay.
Just take the word and turn it, like he can write it 10 times, that way he can get his hand some exercise, you know, but he can see, I would do it on a piece of paper, the art, like using the word and then kind of like draw pictures or whatever. But he can, since he's not into that, he can maybe turn it into digital art. So he'll have a digital art piece that includes the words and maybe the definition. And then, you know, that's a way of remembering.
Okay, well, how about this? Do you have
like a visual dictionary of the words that you guys do?
Okay, can you speak to, would you mind joining us Tuesday for the first few minutes?
Yeah, I'm right next to him.
Okay, well, yeah, just come in and kind of explain it to both of us, and then tomorrow, or you know what, if you can tonight, put exactly like what you mean by it in our little the meeting thing.
Let me just tell you, visual dictionary. That's it.
Visual dictionary. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like it's the word, and then imagine a picture with the word in it. Yes, baby. Oh, go tell JJ. That's it. You know, keep it simple.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that way he could put his skills to use and turn it into like an art.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And I think that would be good even for like visual learners such as myself. You know, I could like I would like to watch or to go through a slideshow of, you know, words to know, you know, and I can see visually what the word means, and then I'll remember the picture, and then the picture tells me the definition. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. And then it can utilize his graphic skills or his art skills and.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. Well, I would definitely put that in there, visual dictionary with the words. And then see you tomorrow.
That's right.
All right. And then I'm gonna prepare myself for if someone comes on tomorrow night. But if just so happens they don't, I'll still have the questions prepared for whoever, whenever we interview.
Okay. And then what we could do is then yeah, so like right now I'll message the person that I would like to invite, and then maybe I'll do that every night. I'll be like, all right, let me go find someone to invite, and I'm not gonna stop till I get a yes. So I'll see. But all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and invite the person who I want to invite, and we'll go from there.
All right, thank you.
Later. All right, so let's get a song going. Let's see, what shall we want to listen to? I don't want to hear that one.
At H&R Block.
Whoa. Hey, we not plugging you. What's all that about? What is that about? Let's go to Prince A. Okay, let's see, it's a oldie.
Got a bad little bitch, and she cold like snow, and she won't switch. She'll never fall. She like this dick, she curls them toes. Said fuck that bitch, she said fuck my hoes. I'ma keep it real, my girl a roll. Shawty gets mad every time I go. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the show. Gotta get that bag, getting on my flow. Shawty so fine, got me like what? Think I fell in love with shawty flow. Like girl hello, like girl hello. Are you so low? Are you so low? Think I fell in love with shawty flow. Think I fell in love with shawty flow. Crazy, and you crazy. I know that you wanna be my lady.
Writing's not that easy.
Put on, seeing different perspectives. I just be giving my all, just trying to ball, but got no connection. Oh, put on, seeing different perspectives. I just be giving my all, just trying to ball, but got no connections. When I walk by, no, they like, who that? I switch sides, I thought you knew that. I can't cry now, I can't do that. Thought you knew my heart is cold. I get hot cause I'm so low. I rap a double foes. I'm self-made, I so much soul. People changing, people so much pressure. I be shaking and shit. Really hope that I make it through this. Crash low cause they snaking through it. Lost some, I was making it with. R.I.P. to the one that I miss. Why I feel like we dying to live. All the things that I'm trying to get. In this life is really the truth. Put on, seeing different perspectives. I just be giving my all, just trying to ball, but got no connections. Oh, put on, seeing different perspectives. I just be giving my all, just trying to ball, but got no connections.
Jaden.
But great.
They don't know the pain I feel, they don't know what's sad now. Always getting money, babe. Mama told me rag it up. Now I'm counting hundreds, babe. These niggas be mad or what? These niggas just mad as now. They mad cause I'm coming up. Fake niggas try to play with her. I'm out of space with her. I'm on a date with her. Straight hitter. I'm a go getter. When I be in that pussy, I swear I get her wetter. You can try to talk, but I will not listen. All the time I lost, just cause I was wishing. Now I'm on the top, cause I formed a vision. You niggas be quitting, I passed the mission. Fake boy, I can't fuck ya. You's a snake boy, I had to duck ya. Shot it too fine, I fell in love with her. Trying to make a meal, watch me run it up. Yeah, they don't know the pain I feel, they don't know what's sad now. Always getting money, babe. Mama told me rag it up. Now I'm counting hundreds, babe. These niggas be mad or what? These niggas just mad as stuff. They mad cause I'm coming up. Fake niggas try to play with her. I'm out of space with her. I'm on a date with her. Straight hitter. I'm a go getter. When I be in that pussy, I swear I get her wetter. I be popping pills, no prescription. Not a shoddy man, she keep her distance. I ain't like the last, you reminiscing. Say I'm moving fast, but you tripping. That hook up, I'm sipping. She moving the tipping. Now I got it stripping. Diamonds on me dripping. Dripping, dripping. Cause they don't know the pain I feel, they don't know what's sad now. Always getting money, babe. Mama told me rag it up. Now I'm counting hundreds, babe. These niggas be mad or what? These niggas just mad as stuff. They mad cause I'm coming up. Fake niggas try to play with her. I'm out of space with her. I'm on a date with her. Straight hitter. I'm a go getter. When I be in that pussy, I swear I get her wetter.
This has been an All Ages Alliance production. Hasta mañana.